Let us begin with our guests on this day. But before we do that, I'd like to give you your homework up front. Your homework up front. Oh, easy homework this time. There's one thing I'd like you to leave behind. You've brought it over from last year, actually last lifetime, actually from a long time ago, something you've been carrying with you. It doesn't have to be material. It can be an emotion, a feeling, or probably a belief system. This is a wonderful time as we embark on a new year to leave that behind. Leave it at the door when you walk out of this place here in the canyon. Leave it in your bathroom at home when you go later. Just leave it there. Leave it behind as you go into this new year. You don't need it. And I'd like you to do some breathing with it. What is it? You've been feeling it, even thinking about it lately. You've been feeling this weight, this burden. But sometimes when you try to look at it directly, it disappears. It goes back into a vagueness, back into unclarity. But there's something in your life. Now, you're racing right now in your mind. Let's stop that. Let's go into the feeling. The feeling is an all-encompassing part of you that integrates the body, the mind, and the spirit. The feeling is the opening of your senses and your awarenesses, the physical senses as well as your divine senses. There's something that you've been dragging with you like a ball and chain, like you had to drag it with you. Maybe it's an old karmic relationship. Maybe it's an old belief system. Belief in good and bad as you used to know it. Maybe it's a belief in unworthiness. Maybe it's a belief in that life has to be hard. It has to be a struggle in order for it to be worthwhile. Maybe it's a belief that you're waiting for something to happen rather than making it happen. A belief that it's coming to you, but you keep it coming to you rather than delivering it into your now moment. A belief that it's better to have dreams as dreams rather than dreams as reality. Sometimes it's so much easier to daydream about what could be, but terrifying to have that brought into your reality because it may not be as good as what you dreamed. Sometimes it's better to keep dreams in a separate reality, in a separate world, because perhaps they're safe. Your dreams, your aspirations, your heart, your playfulness, your creativity, you keep somewhere else. Because what if it came to earth and it was destroyed? Like a physical body gets destroyed. Like goals get destroyed. Maybe that's an old belief system, Shambra. An old belief system that you can leave behind. Oh, it'll be cleaned up by the angelic beings. It'll be cleaned up by all the little, multidimensional insects that devour the energy, tear it apart, and return it back to natural, pure energy rather than stuck energy. So take a moment to feel. What is it that you choose to leave behind? And I underline the word choice. You don't have to do hocus pocus here. You don't have to sprinkle holy water, and you don't have to have a guru take it away from you or transmute it. You can do it. That's the beauty of new energy. You can do it. What do you choose to leave behind? What type of void does it leave? What game do you have to give up playing? Why did you carry it with you for so long? It must have served a purpose. And what are you going to miss about it when you leave it behind? Now, I would caution you and say, when you leave it behind, don't look back. Don't look back. There is that tendency, there's an old biblical story, I believe, about it. about looking back. Don't look back, because it's merely a symbol saying that maybe you're really not ready to let it go. When you let it go, let it go. Don't keep it in a static dimension. Don't leave it there just in case you change your mind. Make a choice and let it go. I'd like you to communicate with each other in your internet mechanism, on your message board. Share with each other about what you've let go so others can feel the passion behind it, and also perhaps the struggle and the joy behind it. Share from your heart. Share from your integrity and your authenticity. When you let it go, don't look back. Oh, I'll put a few footnotes in here, especially if it's a relationship. Now, I'll put a footnote to the footnote and say, when you let an old, stale, karmic relationship go and you don't look back, and you keep walking on your joyous journey, the chances are very, very high that relationship will meet you on the path. It will come along your way. But that relationship now is transformed. Its energy and its old karma are transmuted. So when you once again meet that person that you've had the relationship with, it's no longer based upon the past. It's based upon new potential and opportunity. No longer carries the suffering and the pain and the guilt, but it carries a new potential if you choose it. Perhaps you won't choose to rejoin in that relationship. Perhaps you'll just wish to greet that dear one on the road, bless them, honor them, and thank them for all they've given you in your life. So take a deep breath. And by the end of our shout together today, it won't be too long, dear. By the end of the shout, leave something behind and don't look back. Walk forward into this new energy. I so look forward to coming back.
There seemed to be an inordinate number of questions that were sent in relating to people being in relationships with people that they believe they love, but something's changing. They're not sure. How do you know when it's time to leave?
When you ask a question, truly.
Not my question.
When the question comes up, and it's not just a mental question anymore, but it's truly a question of your heart. When you say, is it time to leave? You're asking yourself that because it probably is time to leave. The real question is, how do I untangle this relationship? How do I do it in the greatest love and honoring? How do I keep from making myself suffer or the other person? The real question is, how do I handle the details? How do I handle the children, the possessions? You've already made a decision in a way. Now you have to make the movements into untangling it. Relationships were never intended to be eternal. Eternal. Relationships were never intended to even have to last a lifetime. Relationships are precious. They're beautiful. But it wasn't inflicted on anybody that they should last forever. When you get over your own karmic cycle, your old relationships based in karma end. It's time to let them go. When you let them go, you meet them again on the path, but without the encumbrances of the old karma. If you keep dragging them along, that's going to take the joy out of your life and the one who you're having a relationship with. Let it go.